and welcome to the Self-Made Book Channel.
I'm Byron.
And I'm Bianca.
So, we're going to talk today about the experience that both of us have when accompanying each other to events. Now, what I mean by that is how the other person is ignored by organisers, but also, more interestingly, how this experience has been whilst being in Dubai. Because typically speaking, I think we'll talk about that first. So typically speaking, I would book a hotel or venue and it'll be in my name. But this trip, majority of the venues, Bianca has been engaging with the hotels, having points of contact, etc., right? So when we get to a venue or a hotel, they'll be like, "Hi, Miss Bianca," or, and then it's so interesting because, she's a VIP, obviously, so we'll get a VIP service. They'll come and meet us at downstairs, and they'll bring us to the room. And I'm like, I don't know. Do you get that normally, where they don't even address you, they don't look at you?
But that's standard.
It's wild.
I feel other than when I go to do a speaking event, and then they address me, and they sometimes forget to address you, and I have to introduce you and stuff. Other than that, the rest of the time, when we go to restaurants, hotels, holidays, it's "Hi, Mr. Cole," "Hi, Mr. Cole," and then it's just like, I'm like, no one's gonna address me, no call. And I think especially in countries like the Middle East, where they address men more than they address women.
No, I don't think that's necessarily true, because look how the role has been reversed.
No, but that's because I've booked and so on.
There you go.
But I'm saying, even in a scenario where neither of us have booked, if, for example, we went to a hotel and we're going into the lift attendant would address you and not me. And I don't know if that's a respect thing, because it's like you don't address people's wife. I don't know if it's that. Because maybe that's the reason. But typically, I don't get. They would, I'm just there behind you, even if I'm in front of you, they probably address you.
So it's interesting that I notice it now more, obviously, because you've made these bookings. And I'm like, yeah. Whereas when we're traveling, or you're doing gigs, and if I come with you to a speaking engagement, that is almost how it is. But I guess the question is,
no, but prior to me doing speaking engagements or whatever, having a name, I never got addressed. Well, prior to
how does it make you feel?
Money, fame, whatever you want to call it,
How does it make
it was
you feel?
Mr. Byron, it was Mr. Cole. It was annoying. I used to tell you this.
It's crazy. I
don't
understand.
Well, thank you. It's so nice. You understand.
Empathize.
Well, this is how men become feminists. When you understand that women get ignored all of the time.
Hello? Do you not see me here?
All of the time. That happens all of the time.
So it's quite
even
interesting.
when we go out and maybe you've seen someone or someone that knows you, or someone's like, "Oh, hey, Mr. Be Self-Made." I'm not addressed at all.
So interesting. Why is that? I don't know.
So I think it happens on both sides of the coin. But I think if we're really honest, if it really boils down to it, if I was a woman that didn't have a business or a name, or they weren't expecting me, they would not address me. So that is really something that women face regularly, is not being noticed, unless they have to make an effort to stand out or lean in or put your hand out. Hello, I've had to do that sometimes where people have just ignored me. And I think you're quite laid back about it, and I think all credit due to you, because I can imagine some men would feel a little bit awkward sometimes where people address. I mean, how do you feel when people address me and they just don't even address you at all?
I guess before answering that, I think if I didn't have my own, if I hadn't had a degree of success in my own right and my own pounds and pence, I think I would be really, really I potentially would be really intimidated by that. I'm really uncomfortable. So the question then is, what if your woman is a boss and you're, you're just doing your thing, but she's on a different level. How would that?
You see how that's so interesting? That's even a question, because for time immemorial, like history, men have been at the front of this, and women have been perceived to be just the wife, just the homemaker, or whatever. Men have always been acknowledged, and so for it to be reversed slightly, like, because you know what you're saying essentially is, if your woman is the boss, she's the one, she's the breadwinner, and the man is not. But look how long men have been the breadwinner and a woman has not, and she's had to cope with just not being noticed, not being acknowledged. So what's the difference?
Well, like you said, I deal with it quite well, and I'm quite laid back. But I think
I mean, you've corrected a few people this week.
no, because they called me the wrong name. That's why I corrected them.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm not fast. I'm not bothered. You know, I love to empower you and be like, hey, she's the one who's paying. Go and make sure you go and say hello, right? So the way we are as in society, we're just conditioned to feel that way. Like, I don't, you know me, I don't really mind. Like, I'm like, cool, like, but it's just so interesting how, forget this male-female thing, just general etiquette.
Of not addressing both parties.
Like, how do you walk in a room with a confined space, and you get introduced to one person, and they're like, hi, nice to meet you. Someone, you're behind me, or I'm behind you, and they don't say, oh, hi.
Yeah, you're right. It's just, that is actually just etiquette.
That's just like etiquette.
Just professionalism, just common sense, just being human.
Like,
it doesn't matter who the person is.
Come on.
Right. You're right.
And for me,
I feel like I'm giving the Middle East and in some parts Africa a bit of a, like, I don't know what the word is, like a blight. I don't know what the real word is for that. Like, because I'm kind of like, oh, you know, culturally, the man, the woman. I'm not saying it's acceptable, but there is a cultural difference.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't make it okay. I feel like standard etiquette. But I know there is a cultural disparity in that men are, like, at the forefront of society for those cultures. But it doesn't make it any easier. And it doesn't excuse what happens in the UK. Because what's the excuse there? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so... I don't
but
know.
it does remind me of, sorry, just to add, just really quickly, you know, there's a story came out about the CEO of a brand called, I think is Zoolander, I think it is. Well, I might have to add it in the comments if that's not correct. Anyway, he stepped down 2 years before the end of his contract to allow his wife to pursue her career ambitions. And it was like frontline headline news, and people were like, come on, look how many times women have taken a step back to allow their husband or their partner to
look after the family,
to fulfill theirs. Why is it such a big news story? I think it's a big news story because it's a multi-million or billion-dollar company, but equally, you know, this has been happening, but women never it would never make the news if a woman stepped down to their husband.
I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
They were like, oh yeah, that's good of her, so she should. I think that's the difference.
So, guys, girls, people, have you experienced this in your business partnership, relationship? Like, we want to know, are we the only ones experiencing this? I'll be interested to know. So put it in the comments below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. We need you guys to subscribe and share these videos. If you want us to keep making more, we need to know that you guys like it. So please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll continue creating these types of discussions. Until next time, I'm Byron.
And I'm Bianca.
And Self-Made
is success. Bye-bye.